Hello everyone, this is another Gyan review, and this time is the Koshin Gyan. Well, it's Shin version. He is one of the antagonist character in the Gyan anime series, and I have to say I have no idea who he is in historical sense. He is under Totaku, and just like a Gyan in the original Gundam anime, he basically appeared in one episode and get killed in that episode as well. So yeah, and interestingly, he got Ruby on the background, not Totaku. No idea why. He's released number 4 in the Brave Battle Warriors line, and I don't think he actually got a proper release in the normal SD Gyan line, as in the SD Gundam line. So we can see in here, pretty standard fare really, quite a lot of weapon, a few different variation, his special attack, and his code cell, which is actually the three swan brother, which has nothing to do with Totaku as well, other than trying to kill him. Yeah, a bit random. The user manual, assembly instruction, a bit on the shield, a bit on the weapon, a bit about him and his combined weapon mode. He looked pretty good in the CG art actually. Some of the character doesn't look quite right in CG art form. Here is his special attack, which basically his shield opened up to reveal 3 blades, and he attached it to the back of his side and then throw it out with the blade spinning. So it's like throwing like a giant shuriken. And a little bit of the part where he appears, where he's guarding a bridge. A bit about Gyan, about how he is absolutely useless, really, to be honest. Even the manga here is basically about him being useless, really. Him trying to fend off the 3 brothers. It's actually in the same scene actually. Seems to be able to block them, blah 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 blah, and then Ruby, Choi and Kanu get angry. They join their power. They use a 3-in-1, kill him in 1 strike, and that's the end of him. How degrading it is that the manga on him is actually about him getting killed. Assembly instruction, standard. And here's the model itself. I actually got not a lot to say about him. In fact, after I built him, I was actually probably feel a bit left out. Thought that he's actually not finished yet, so I actually, for some reason, I just unconsciously picking up the gold Gundam marker and actually start marking stuff already. But yeah, pretty standard really. You can probably see that there's not a lot of armor on him. He is a Gyan. He really literally looks exactly like a Gyan, except with the shoulder armor and the cape on the back. The shield really is the Gyan shield. It's actually pegged to the shoulder armor, which you can take out, and with the handle on the back, he can actually hold it. There we go. His weapon is actually quite interesting, I have to say. I think this kit's highlight is the weapon. So you got a stick, which you can combine to form the scythe. The tip of the scythe is actually a sword, so you can use the sword and the scythe separately. This end is actually designed to be plugged in, so you can actually plug that in, so you have a sharp end to the side. Or, if you remove that, that is actually a spear. That is actually pretty good. That is actually quite a lot of combination just by doing this. And the shield, as we said before, has blade on the back which flips out. And when you do that, the handle can actually be stored in here. So you got a giant spinning shuriken, and just like in the assembly instruction suggests, you can plug it into the end. So it looks like that he's about to throw it, and throw it out. Yeah, pretty good. And it looks like a giant lollipop. Okay, let's be serious now. But yeah, this weapon combination really does give you a lot of playability. The kit itself, on the other hand, doesn't seem to be that interesting. Oh, by the way, there's a thruster on the back. I don't know why there's a thruster on a historical style character. But anyway, so maybe he actually will look a bit better with his fully painted. So this is what we're going to do next. So give me a second. Okay, and we are back. And here is, well, painted but unarmed, and yeah, he looks a bit weird, isn't he? I would say the head is a bit odd. Even with the eye stickers on, this head just doesn't look quite right. And as you can see, that all of the chest armor, all of the waist, front and back are all molded on. And one thing that's a bit disappointing is that even the arm guard is actually molded on, because on the front cover and on the assembly instruction it looks like it's a separate piece, but it turns out that it's actually part of the molding. So that's slightly disappointing. You can see that his again his family surname is actually on the head, but in this case his head no matter how I look at it, the head looks a bit poorly designed. Even the way he split the character make it look real odd. It's not even properly stylized. It just looks like someone just squiggle on the head. It just look a bit odd. But yeah, overall it's alright. And you can see that to actually get a chest accurate, you have to, because the chest starts off as this light blue, you have to paint all the dark blue on and the gold. And well, fortunately, if you don't want to paint it, you do actually have the stickers to do it, but it only covers the front half of his body. So yeah, you wouldn't get a comprehensive paint job like this. So that's really it for the unarmed form. Pretty, this looks alright, but well, let's put some armor on him anyway. Okay, and Koshin now is fully armed and fully painted. I did a bit of liberty on some of the colors. For example, instead of this whole side staff being complete in silver, I decided that the handle to remain black, mainly because well, his hand is going to hold it all the time, and if I paint it in silver, I will have to sand the whole thing down to make it smaller, just so that he will not rub the paint off. And I noticed that sometimes even if I do that, it sometimes still manage to scrape the paint off. And same thing for the shield. The shield, the shield itself is fully painted on the gold and all the detail on the inside, but all of this hidden blade, I keep them in this original metallic black plastic color because, well, it's been swiveled in and out, and it's going to scrape along this edge of the shield all the time. And it's a shield, so it's going to be moved around and, yeah, between his shoulder armor and his hand. So it's another thing that's going to rub around quite a lot. So there's no point to paint those either. But yeah, once you actually put the whole thing together, he does look much better. His face guard really does make him look a lot more professional, look a bit more angry. And so is this thing, which makes his head doesn't look too round like an egg. His shoulder armor is, I have to say, the shoulder armor is actually pretty well designed. It's designed so that it looks correct, whether it's actually flinging out like that or coming down, hugging the shoulder. It actually looks right in any way. So it gives you a bit more interesting, a bit more things to do. You can actually raise them up to actually make him look a bit more angry, or raise or lower them down so that you can actually move his arm to a more wider position. And one thing that is actually done pretty well and not so well at the same time is the cape. The cape looks really nice, especially in this one where the cape actually goes all the way to the front and tied on the front. And unlike some other Sanguden Gundam where the cape is only on the back and it just seems to dangling on the back for no apparent reason. It seems to actually float in mid-air. Well, in this case, it looks like that it's actually tied to the front properly. But you did also see that I was struggling trying to put it together because it was actually trying to plug into two tabs on the top, and those two tabs are really tight and also very flimsy. So I have to be really careful to actually slowly, gently push them down. So yeah, I will just put this thing together to its final attack mode. So give me a second. Okay, and that's about it. Holding it like that, so it's just basically swing it out and throw it out. Like that. Whee! Something like that. And coming back. So yeah, overall, it's good. It's not bad, this kit overall. His armor count is a bit more reasonable than most other, but mainly because it got a lot more weapon on him, which is the plus side of this kit. A generous amount of weapon combination. The cape does look very nice. I'm wondering if there's more kit that can actually use this cape. The other thing that I would actually want is since he gave you this weapon and the weapon theme is that it's going to be a spinning blade, can't they actually design it so that it can actually spin? I think that if this is actually his theme of weapon, and if they're not actually planning to give it any more other special ability or weapon, they could have designed it so that it goes onto a loose pin and let the whole thing actually spin by flicking it. That would be really, really nice, and I think that would become a really big plus if this kit can do it. But right now it can't, so it's a bit disappointing. So overall, I would say if you liked the gun, which I'm not quite sure if whether there's a lot of people like the gun or not, pick him up. But if not, I will only recommend it if you want to complete the set. So that's about it for me. Join me in the next review.